gives it away.
It is a bright and shiny day in the nation's capital city of Abuja as we welcome you to another edition of a favorite sports show, Sports Hour, reaching you from the Advent Cable Network Nigeria Television. Good morning, viewers. I am Olushola Olujide. We'll be bringing to you events that is happening, and that will happen in other sports. But before that, we'll go on a short break, and when we return, I will introduce our guests to you, and then we will kickstart the show. Yeah, welcome back. And if you are just joining us, this is a Sport Hour show. You can follow us on our social media handles. The handles are on your screen right now. But then I'm not alone in the studio. I have with me a journalist of immense years of experience in this job, and he's a friend of the house, Mr. Joel Ajayi. Thank you for coming again to the show.
Good morning, Fuya. Tom.
How have you been? How's the family? How's the job?
We give glory to our Maker.
Like we always say, how's the street as well too?
At all. So, everything is moving on well. Okay,
so myself and Mr. Joel Ajayi will be talking about sports. My co-presenter today is unavoidably absent, and so we will share our heads together, our thoughts together on the various topics we have for today. So our very first topic today, it has to do with the star-studded Super Eagles of the 1994 set, where the captain there, talking about Sunday Olise, the former captain of Super Eagles, and a one-time Super Eagles coach as well too, has spoken about what happened in the finals against the AFCON 2004 finals against Cameroon. According to him, he played with painkillers because he wanted to sacrifice everything he had for the nation. But unfortunately, we lost that game on penalties after 2-2 draw right there at the National Stadium in Surulere, Lagos. So let's talk about it now. Olise said he used painkillers, that he was not fully fit. I feel that was for him to have played at that point, because it was going back the memory lane of how the 1994 their own sets were able to sacrifice everything they had for the national team. Let's talk about that.
Okay. Looking at the Olise scenario of playing the AFCON final with a painkiller, I think is the sacrifice that every Nigerian needs to have. Is a sacrifice that the footballers, the whole Nigeria need to sacrifice for the sake of the country. The truth of the matter is that kind of sacrifice is no longer there this time around. Maybe because of so many factors that has already given the football in Nigeria some bad news. Yeah. Because if you are committed to your country and then you want to play for your country truly, no matter the situation, you try as much as possible because the blood of your country is running in your body. Yes. Look at the game. He had hamstring injury when we played the semi-final against South Africa. Yes. On that very day. But they know that he happened to be an important player for them if Nigeria are to be crowned the winner of that particular something.
Actually, it was even Okocha, Austin J. Okocha, that gave him the painkillers. And what Okocha said, because they know the importance of Olise at the middle of the midfield, that is going to allow him as Okocha now to be able to the freedom to play well, because you know that there's somebody behind it that will protect the back line. Because that was Olise's job. It was Okocha that gave him the painkillers, that guy, we need you. Yeah. You just have to play at all costs, because we just have to play.
As I was saying, this is the kind of people that we need. If you look at the JJ Okocha and then you look at the team that time, you know, when we are talking about team, I think there is no team that has beaten that particular team or that particular up to this present moment, no matter how informed or no matter how girlish or the noise we are making. That particular team, they know each other. Because it's not about the godfatherism, it's not about I know Mr. A or I know Mr. B before you make the team. It is the hard work and your talents that merit you to be in that particular team. So they know that having Olise in that particular team, in that particular encounter, is a very added advantage for the team. So using Painkiller to do that, some players nowadays, because they are making their money abroad, they will just say, why am I using Painkiller?
Let me relax.
let me just relax. Maybe I have already in camp, I can collect my at least allowance. There is no issue about I will not get my money at the end of the day. But if you look at the team, they really try their best. And then up to this present moment, I've not seen Nigeria Super Eagles team that have beaten that team.
Yeah, because that's the 994 set. It was just full of stars.
Yeah.
Right from the goalkeeper down to the strikers, they were all full of stars. Not just ordinary stars, big time players who had made their names in different clubs and everything. So, and we have not seen that right now. Are we talking about Peter Rufai? Are we talking of Taribo West?
Taribo West.
All of them.
All of them.
It was a very star-studded, and they shook the world at that point. That we got the Olympics, and we got to the World Cup, beat Belgium, countries that nobody expected we would beat, we did. And we got to the quarterfinals as well. Sorry, I mean, the group stage, which nobody expected. Yeah. But right now, we don't see such, though we have stars, but not as good as...
Mr. Jide, let me just take it away from you there. In as much as we play politics with our football in Nigeria, we cannot get that kind of team that we had in that year. The truth of the matter is that when we are talking about football, it's 11 against 11. It's talent against talent. It's skill against skill. So you cannot just say, okay, someone that you have a relationship with that made the team, maybe courtesy of the relationship with Mr. A or Mr. B, he can't give the best. What you did not labor for. Look at the training all those team went through that time. They've labored for it. They are together to ensure that they are fighting for one cause. But this time around now, everybody is fighting for whatever thing I can get. I just want to make. Do you know why many of them are even listening to the core of the nation? It's because they know that it affects them.
Yeah, in their clubs.
In their clubs, if they are not playing for their country. That is why you see some people who say, okay, let me just go and play just 30 minutes or 2 minutes. After all, the club, we know that I have the heads to make to play for my club. So that's kind of the skill, and then the commitments are no longer there in the country this time around because of politics and so many factors that have already bedeviled our football in the country.
And they're still talking about the Super Eagles of those 94 sets. A particular player as well, talking about Ejinai Babangida, was very, very unhappy that he was dropped from playing at the World Cup. Now, that was because he felt the coach there, talking about, what's his name again? The Westerhoff. Yeah. Wanted to manage him, and he rejected the offer from Westerhoff to be his manager. And then Okocha and Olise as well, they also said that no, Babangida was not good enough to break himself into that team because Babangida missed the 1994 World Cup. So you can imagine as good as Babangida was, then he could not even still be in the first 11 or even in the first team of the national team then. So that should tell you how strong the 1994 set was at that time. And now, according to him, he blamed Westerhoff for the fact that he felt he was good enough, but Westerhoff said you were not good enough. Okocha said he was not good enough, that at least they knew the team to a very large extent. So, but they knew that who were they going to drop for Ejinai Babangida?
When we are talking about this matter, it's also even relates to the first matter we just discussed about now. It is about the skill, it is about talent that we don't longer have in our team this day. Because if you look at the team we have now, though it's allegedly, do you know that Coach General have close to 50% of our player being managed of the Super Eagles players? He was the one through his company that is managing them.
Of course.
So what we are trying to say here is that if I am a coach and then you are over, you want me to manage you, it means whether you're good or not, you are going to play at the national team. If you look at the scenario that played out in 1994, Babangida was not good enough because of the more talent that we have. That was what the JJ Okocha and all this. But you know, when we are talking about rumors about whatever thing happened, the Westeros might want to be managing him and then to, explain to him, say, guy, you need to do this, you need to do that. Then because of, I have the skill now, I can play now. There is nothing wrong with me. So I don't need to just. Why do I need to just do this? So because he knows the talent in him, be it as it may, Babangida happened to be one of the best players that we have. But because of many issues, and then it was okay. But this time around, it was something else entirely, which I think we need to rectify if we are to grow our football. It's not about mouth. It's not about the media hype. It's not about we are this, we are that. It's not about ego.
The media hype has really pushed some players who are not supposed to be in the media.
I'm telling you.
You know, once you're able to market a player through the media, everybody will focus on the player. But then when they not get to the national team, they do not perform well. We see what happened in England as well. They add their players so much.
Yeah.
But then, where is England? How did they perform on the world
If
stage?
not now that they are just trying to say, we are the owner of football, we need to buckle up on, we need to do anything. Still, they are still doing that media hype, but it will take them to nowhere. They will go to nowhere. If you are hyping a player, you are saying, the player that is not up to average, you are saying, he's super talent, is this one. And then you see him on the field, you'll be wondering, even my 60-year-old man can play what this guy is playing. So it's something that we need to just rectify if we are to grow our football. And then mind you, the way and manner the national team has been run this time around is not the way that should be. Because
what are your thoughts?
See, the truth of the matter is that I am not happy. I love sport. I didn't get anything from sport, but I love, this is the passion I have. Even me and my wife, we used to fight. I have my TV inside my room. They have their own to watch whatever thing they want to watch. Because when I am watching it, just leave me. Because that's what gives me joy. And then I am okay with it. But if we have many people, we have millions of Nigerians like me that love football, I love sport like that. But when we are looking at so many issues that is crippling the movement of that particular games, it's not something that is good in the country. When we have a national team, we have a coach that have an organization that manage player. When we have
There'll be clash of interest.
Yes, when we have some board member, let me just put it in that way, some board member that have percentage of player that will come to the team.
Yes.
When the technical crew are toothless bulldog, what do you expect? That is the same thing that we are going to experience in the country. But if all things are put in place the way it's supposed to be, if you are not married to be here, there is no need of coming to the corridor of that particular place. Then we have a lot of talent. We are saying we have abundant talent, but we don't want talent. We don't allow talent to come to the fore because of politics and sentiment and ethnicity. And there was a time they were saying it's only South that is playing football. That is where what they know how to do best. We just finished the National Sport Festival. They said data is doing well. I said it on many occasions here. They are paying money. They are putting money on sport. They should be able to be getting results. But in Nigeria, it's not about they are coming from one particular place. It's about giving us results. If it is only people from Kaduna State that will play the World Cup and give Nigeria the trophy, let them play and get it. Because they are Nigeria.
Even if the South are even the play, at least they bring joy to the whole country.
Yeah.
The glory does not go to South or the West or the North. It comes to Nigeria as a whole. So I agree with you that it's not by the ethnicity, but by the talents. We have, if it's only North that is going to be there, fine. If it's only South, fine. It's only East, fine. But the problem is, let there not be interference by interested bodies, but we cannot just rule that one out, unfortunately.
See, I agree with you. Even in those countries that are doing well, they have this kind of interference that we are talking about. But at the barest minimum, if the talent take place of 90%, and then the politics is 10%, you won't know the impact of that particular place. Because it's true, there is no how I will be in a particular place. I will not try as much as possible to tell my people, say, okay, do it this way, or reveal something that will give them edge ahead of the other. But if that thing is minimal, It will be better.
I don't know to mention names because we're on live TV, but we know one particular son of one of the top Nigerian whose son was drafted into the national team but never played a single minute. Never played a single minute for the under 23 or under 17.
Under 17.
Under 17.
Yes, under 17.
But he never played a single minute when they went for the World Cup. But I'll not mention it. But you know what I'm talking about. So that is just one example of one. So you can imagine the different scenario whereby we have politicians bringing in their players. Bringing their players to play for the national team. But then, still talking about the Super Eagles, our darling team, they're going to be playing Mexico on July 3rd this year. This is going to be the fourth time that they'll be playing against Mexico. It's going to be it's an international friendly match where Genero has invited over 31 players. And the good thing is about this time around, at least the number of local home-based players in the team has increased, I think, to 4 or 5 players. So to 4 players. So the game we played at in Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum in California, US. The game will be the 6th time, that the Super Eagles will play against the North Americans. 4 of their previous 5 clashes ended in draws, with only one win coming the way of Mexico, a 2-1 victory in US Gold Cup in Dallas. That was in 1995. So you have not been able to defeat Mexico in the last 6 encounters. Probably this one we will find a way to revenge against the North Americans. So let me get your thoughts on the fact that Genero has invited more local players now this time around compared to 1 or 2, at least that's increased to 4. Probably gradually it will increase to 5 to 7, 8, like what Stevie Keshi did in 2003. So let's see what with the players he invited, the 31 players that he has listed for the Super Eagles. What's your take on the list and the fact that we are playing against Mexico as well too?
In as much I want to give kudos to the NFF and the Super Eagles technical unit to have this kind of friendly match. It is a very good game for Nigeria because we are trying to make use of every FIFA open window to play friendly match because we still have we are playing Cameroon, which to me is very good. But what I just want to say about the player is that when you are talking about the player, you don't make use of the same set of player to play a friendly match. And then some people were even celebrating last week when the list of the team came out, and then we had just like 4 home-based player. Ahmed Musa is we can't say he's a home-based player. The guy is just playing in that particular place for him to get offer outside the country. And then if you look at it, we have 2 goalkeepers.
Yes.
From the home base that we are talking about, is only one player who happened to be a Enyimba player that is going to be there. The 2 goalkeepers might not even see the post, the 2 sides of the post, that very period. So it's just that we will be saying it. So far they will be hearing our yanni that we need more local player. But mind you, my own issue about the local player is that when the league is not going well, how will a coach that wants to have results pick them? Look at what is happening in the MPFL this time around. I had an interface with a coach of a big Nigeria club yesterday night. We were discussing seriously. He said he's even tired. That now you play this team, you travel far. He said it. He was lamenting seriously. He said it's not about money. But the truth of the matter is that we are not there yet.
We are not there yet.
Locally. Because if our local team is working fine, look at Egypt. 70% of their players play on their home soil. So if a coach is picking player from their own soil, there is no cause for alarm. But this Nigeria issue, look at Algeria. Look at the like of South Africa.
Yes.
That is because their league was working well. When you are watching South Africa league, you will be happy. It's not about the super sport screenshots, whatever thing they are doing, but this is what they are doing. You see they are officiating, you see the everything. Like yesterday in the NFF, they suspended one Nigeria referee because of bad officiating. We have a lot of issue that is happening in Nigeria. So for me, it is very good to be seeing Nigeria home-based player playing in the Super Eagles. But at the end of the day, maybe the Enyimba player will play just 2-3 minutes. Because
like they did for him,
like they did for him the other time. It's more or less the same thing. It's more or less you didn't invite them. They are just going there to collect the money.
Talking about Anayo, because that's a classical 10.
Yeah,
it's a classical 10. I watched him play live in Lagos against Lesotho, and he came in about, let's say, like 10 minutes out of the game. Yeah. We, the fans and the journalists, were very angry that this, like, what this guy.
Before that time.
When the guy came on board, the way the guy was controlling the ball, he controlled that midfield. It was everywhere. So this is a player. Why the General bench him this long? Though the game was already dusted. Yeah. You had already won. You had already gotten a ticket to.
But there is no crime in winning now.
Yeah,
no crime. Even if it's rubber stamp, if it's dead rock, everything, there is no crime in winning.
You should have played that guy from the beginning to the end.
To the end.
And let us see him, because he really performed very well.
In fact, let me just take it away from you. I will have agreed with you that you should have played that guy 90 minutes. It will have to market value of that guy.
Yes.
Because people, the clubs around the world will see that, look at what this guy can do.
Yes.
And then, but you are just bringing someone less than 10 minutes or 15 minutes. How will you want people to judge his performance within that shortest period of time? So to me, it's not about. I'm happy that we are playing Mexico. Tango is in he's not in Nigeria. He's in Mexico. But we need to test different players. So in order for us to have the kind of team we have in 1994.
No team. We need to beat that team.
We can do it if we leave everything that we discussed here. We can do it if we can jettison the politics. We can do it if we can do away with selfishness and the greed or part of many administrators in the country. We can do it if we can leave sentiment that, okay, if not Jide, no other person can do it again. To me, as far as I'm concerned, the like of Ahmed Musa, you have already paid your price.
Yes. He has a record.
You have a record, but why don't you just...
He wants to beat a record.
No, it's not about beating the record.
He wants to beat
It's not about... Once he beat Enyama's record, another person is coming to beat his record. Records are meant to be beaten.
I think he has about 5 games to beat.
Let's watch and see. We play Cameroon, we play Mexico, and then we'll play some... unfortunately, they've already... postponed World Cup to they moved them to September. So if he's still informed, if he's still playing for Caterpillar, as we are seeing, we saw him the last over the weekend how he to score that goal. So we wish him well, but it's not about the record. It's about do the right thing. It's about put the right player. That is my own.
Okay. And I'm still talking about, the Super Eagles as well. So that it's been a very burning issue, because this is the golden goose that lays the golden egg for football in Nigeria. They are one of the highest paid players in the Nigerian football generally. But then, as the players are being paid well, the coach himself, talking about General, is being owed 6 months' salary. And according to the NFF, he's being owed because of the COVID-19 pandemic. And how is the COVID-19 pandemic affecting him? According to them, again, further, they said because the companies, the sponsors, could not pay up the money they're supposed to pay because they could not make money during the COVID-19 pandemic till now. So that is why he is being owed 6 months' salary. And the players themselves are also being owed some match bonuses and allowances. So it's still funny that the Super Eagles that lay the golden egg for Nigerian Football Federation cannot find it difficult to pay the salaries of the coach, the match bonuses and the allowances of these players. To me, it's ridiculous. You have signed a deal with Nike. We don't know how much is involved. You signed a deal with Peak. We don't know how much is involved. You cannot tell me Peak does not have money to, you cannot just say things that are just unbelievable to the ears, because you have not been transparent enough. Yeah. If they have been transparent enough, we will know, okay, if the deal they signed with Nike was $100 million, where did the money go to? But I know the money is going to be in dollars. It would never be in naira. You signed a 4-year contract deal with Nike. You signed with Peak, and all that, GAC Motors. different sponsors.
Panadol,
you know, and yet you are saying there's no money to pay the General 6 month salary, and you are still owing the players' allowances. Come on. What's going on?
It is very unfortunate that we find ourselves in this kind of situation. A country where there is water and then we are thirsty. A country where there is food and then everybody are just trying to ration their food and then we have food. Same, until you said something when you were trying to bring the issue, until we are able to give account of everything that's happening in every agency or every federation, that is when we are going to get it very correct in this country. The truth of the matter is that it is a company that is paying Genetrot. It's not from the source of the fund is not coming from the federation. Yes. And then be it as it may, even the company that we are working with, they are owing us. They are owing us. So many media houses, so many organizations are owing. We know that there is no doubt about it. COVID-19 affected every space of life. But as far as I am concerned, like me, when COVID-19 came in our office, the CEO in quotes called all of us, guys, COVID-19 has dealt a huge blow on every source of our income. Please, we will reduce your salary. Yes. Pending the time that everything will be okay. We all agree because we are not dumb. We are not deaf. We all see that is what is happening to us. What I expected NFF to do is that to call the guy. Thank God during the COVID-19, how many games did he play during 2020?
Nothing.
You are not doing anything, and then monthly you are paying $40,000 for God's sake. $40,000. It's not a small money. You can even call on this guy. Yes, we understand what you are doing for us, and then we are happy with it. But please, let us just do this thing 50-50 because of COVID-19. It happened anywhere. Yes. Even in England, is it not now they just open the feed for people to come and watch? This COVID-19 brought the issue of the Super League. Because the club are not getting money the way they're supposed to get before. That is why they are trying to look for ways of getting extra money to meet up the daily expenses. Yes. So I expected NFF to call this guy. Oh boy, this is what is happening. We don't have this money, and then we don't want to disengage you. We love what you are doing, but can you magnanimous enough to at least?
But you might say because we signed a contract.
Yes.
And the contract says you pay me so amount of money.
I have appointment letter now that carries some amount of money. It is about the situation that is happening in the country. It's because we are not in England or we are not in Germany or we are not in Italy. Many players, there is slash in their salary.
And some players refuse to.
And some players refuse.
Like Mesut Ozil.
That's why. But where is he playing now?
Turkey.
So you can see the effect of being strong head. Yeah. Because the guy, even if you play or you did not play anything when you are in Arsenal, your money is coming. They now say, guy, you are a bench professor. Just be collecting your money and then just reduce it a bit. You are not playing. You are not wasting any energy. You understand it now? And then you say no. And then okay, let the guy go. Where is he playing now? How much is he getting? So we need to understand the situation on ground before me. I don't want to dampen into owing him because they are the one that employ him. My advice is that they should look for all means and pay the guy. If you cannot negotiate with the guy to...
The NFF said they've requested for intervention fund from the federal government.
That is where my problem comes in. That is what normally gives me headaches.
Intervention fund.
Now, when federal government want to do certain decision, the FIFA and the so-called international organization will not talk about interference. Now they are looking for money from federal government. How will I pay you? That, okay, this is the money that's supposed to use for other things. And then because you make a request, we pay you. And then there is one issue, you say, I don't have mouth. That is where my problem is.
Plays the pipers.
The tunes. But in Nigeria, when they need money, they will calm me down like this, like that small boy in Lagos. But when they got whatever thing they have, and then if we are to ask, what of the record of all the revenue generate for this NFF. I know Nike is paying huge amount of money. And then whenever I want to play friendly match, it is ministry, federal government that will put money on ground. Or the states that is hosting. I know how much money Edo State governor put in place for that for that game that happened in Edo. We know how much the Sanwo-Olu of Lagos put in on ground for that game. So what are we now talking about? What you do is to manage the affair of NFF, pay the coaches, and then pay the allowance. And then all the money, the source of revenue that you are getting should be enough to pay all those things. How much are you paying the player for per game? And then how many times are they play in a year? How much is the salary of NFF? Most of them are on ministry payroll.
Yes, I agree.
So what are we now talking about? So my own is most of them. Yes, I don't know how NFF is going to do, but they should just try as much as possible to pay this guy in order to save Nigeria of this shame.
So let's now leave football and go to one burning issue right now that has to do with our own Anthony Joshua and of course Tyson Fury. Both men have been engaging in a serious battle, war of words, for the last few days now. Both men are supposed to fight in Saudi Arabia on August 14. But then there's one man in between this whole conversation that was talking about Wilder. Tyson Fury has to fight Wilder and Joshua has to fight Fury before 14th. And just yesterday, Joshua on his Twitter handle called Fury there's a coward and everything. He should come out, he should stop, he should be a man and everything. It's been a serious battle. But then now the organizers have told both men, I've told Joshua now he has 48 hours. The 48 hours is already running down to ensure that he rectify the Fury fight, the fight with Fury for Saudi Arabia. These two men are both British, but they are fighting in Saudi Arabia. And Saudi Arabia is paying a very huge amount of money for this fight. Now, in my own personal view, we all know that I believe that the promoters, the marketers, are trying to put in so much, how will I say it now, media light, hype on this game, on this fight. So that the more the hype, the bigger the hype, the more money they will get. And in Saudi Arabia, in the recent times, they began to open themselves up to the Western world, whereby you can come and, they are living that the conservative life to a more free life now. For them to come and fight. Hardly would they fight in Saudi Arabia, but then it is happening. I only hear a football game being played in Saudi Arabia, but it's happening because they've seen that, okay, let's go into entertainment. Now, this particular fight is one of the biggest fights, and there's so much money involved. There's $20 million involved. That is, Anthony Joshua has to pay Wilder $20 million before he can fight Tyson Fury. So there's a circle between these three men, but this fight must hold because the deal has been signed.
Right. See, when we are talking about heavyweight championship, it is always about the noise.
Of course.
It is always about the hype. It's always come with a lot of controversies. Let me put it in that way. But with the aim, with singular aims of getting more money to hit.
Of course.
Jide, for Christ's sake, this fight that you are talking about, the money is already on ground. With the little research I made yesterday, they sold almost all the tickets for that particular fight.
And more tickets
might still be coming. So, as far as I'm concerned, I think they are just using different ways of getting more money. Even the abusive word is allowed. Yes. I can look at you and call you any name.
Yes.
Because I want my fans to believe that I can do it. It's about putting this kind of intimidating ways to bring you down. You will now look at it. How will this common Joel will just talk to me like this? You said your own. You are creating more awareness about the game. Jide, this fight will take place.
Of course.
That one is for sure.
Of course.
It will take place because every arrangement are on ground. But I don't trust all these promoters because they want to make more money. They want to ensure that this
is business.
This is business. But you know it always get as it be sometimes. When you are doing business, once Saudi Arabia is paying certain amount of money for that fight to take place in that particular place. And then this fight we are talking about in Saudi Arabia is going to be 50-50.
Yes.
Whether you win or lose. So now they are now asking this guy to pay so amount of money for so they want to make that money. Maybe it's one of the you cannot just trust all those guys. They might have do one gamble or whatever. They want to raise more money. So that is my own point, my own take about this.
Why can't Nigeria learn from these marketing skills of these guys? These marketers, these promoters have done so much that the marketers, the promoters, the hype men, even the referee, they have a lot at stake in this game. Let's even take apart the fighters, the boxers themselves. Those are they're not even so important when it comes to the marketing. They are like the pawns.
Yeah.
On the chess,
yes, yeah.
For these marketers, for these promoters,
yes,
they get the money, but these promoters get more money behind the scenes. So why can't Nigeria learn this skill? We have the talents. We have, of course, you have if you're Jagba and Co. They are not based in Nigeria. Yeah, but we have angry.
See, let me just give you.
Or even Nigeria should say, okay, we want to host this fight.
Okay, let me just.
Nigeria hosts this fight.
Yeah.
I'd say, okay, Athan Joshua against Wider in Nigeria. It's going to be a very massive fight. You can imagine people come from US, UK, down to Nigeria, hotels, accommodation, feeding, everything. Yes. And the money is involved. See talent, see business opportunity for Nigeria that they are, relaxing and waiting for oil money.
It can't happen. It can't happen. I'm not a prophet of doom.
I know.
I'm in Nigeria. I have the blood. But see, I used to say one adage that when you see a layman that is carrying a load, and then you now discover that that load is a bit not straight, and then you are accusing the guy will look at you and say, you are looking at my head, the load at my head, but you did not look at my leg. My leg is the cause, it's not the load. The problem we have in the country is that, Jide, you are a sports person. How many fights that the boxing or weightlifting organize in the course of this year? You are saying that if the Nigeria can muscle the strength that and hosting this particular fight, people will come. Are you sure of their security? It can only happen where things are working fine.
Ordinary Bashali fights.
There is no minister. There is no minister. Bashali has not fought. And there was a time he slept on the road. In the front of the secretariat there. Yes, there was a time he forced himself to sleep on the doorstep of minister because we don't have all it takes to do it. We don't have that human resources, human intellect, human thinking to do it. Look at it. Even football alone. Let me give you one scenario. If they are playing at this national stadium, MKO Abiola National Stadium here now, before you could get to that place,
it's stressful.
It's stressful.
Yes.
And then how on earth you that you are earning little money when the economy is not friendly, and then you now say you want to go and spend the little money at the stadium? 2,000. And then where you will not get this, I'm a sport person, is because I have privilege to go to stadium without anybody harass me. That was the reason why I always go to stadium. But if for the fact that they say, okay, you don't have anything to do in the stadium, and then they say I will not go because it's not conducive for me. We should learn how to start somewhere. We can start with festival. Let me give one scenario. Look at what happened in Edo. People make money. Economy of Edo within that period of time, despite the fact that we have a lot of controversies, a lot of issues, people make money.
Traders especially.
Trader makes money. Transporter makes money. Hotelers make money. And then these are the common people on the street. Even the people that are selling pure water make money. The West, they make money. I mean, if you travel to Edo, if you don't have house in Edo, are you going to sleep outside? You cannot sleep outside. You must look for where to sleep. Whether you like it or not, you need to pay. Yeah. And then it will boost the economy of that particular place. So they should start with the local competition. Then we will take it to the international. Okay,
Mr. Joel, I said it all again. So let's now go to our next story. But this is on a very sad note as well, to whereby an American Olympic champion, Evans Lee, died in Ogun State. This is an Olympic champion. He died after heart attack in Babcock University Teaching Hospital in Ogun State. So he's a retired footballer. His friend, a retired footballer, talking about Segun Adegbami, posted this in a WhatsApp group.
Yesterday
in a WhatsApp group that his friend of so many years, he died, and it's so painful that we lost in Nigeria. He's a Nigerian, but American, but with some Nigerian roots, because he has tried to coach some clubs. He has tried to do some things with Adegbami. He has a football club. He has some clubs in Nigeria. But then we sympathize with the family of Lee Evans, who has unfortunately, he has gone to be with the Lord. So then just a brief rundown. The fallen sportsman, he coached the Nigerian athletics team for several years and has been working as a volunteer coach at the Segun Adegbami International College and Sport Academy in Wasimiri, Ogun State, before his demise. And I learned that his children had already organized a GoFund account for him for his health, but of course that's the money could not even save him, sadly. So we say may the soul of Lee Evans rest in peace. Now still talking about, let's now go to the Athletic Federation of Nigeria, AFN, the biggest federation in Nigeria, or the federation that has one of the biggest problems as well too. Of course, this federation has been in news for several reasons, but then they're about to hold their national trials, which is set to begin in ZARIA this month. Now the AFN, the trials they are meant to be to get players or athletes that will represent Nigeria especially for the Olympics, which is upcoming. But then let's just briefly talk about the AFN. I will not want to talk about the crisis, because now this AFN trials is the one being organized by the federal government, by the Sport Ministry. That's the Olamide George camp, because apparently now the federal ministry backed AFN is winning the fight against the
Guso-led board.
So at the moment, right now, the federal government, the sport ministry actually, of course, federal government is leading the charge, is leading the fight. So these national trials, the athletes, some athletes are in US, some are in, they will come back to Nigeria, they will be going to Bayelsa, they will be going to Delta, Lagos.
Edo.
Yes. Edo is out of the picture because of the fight they had with the Edo State government.
But we have facility there.
Initially, Edo State was supposed to be the only camp they use in Nigeria because of the sport festival, but because of the crisis they had with the Edo State deputy governor, who was the mafia, that was fighting.
He happened to be the bones in their their flesh.
It was even that the sport minister could not even attend the closing ceremony of the sports festival. That shows how strong Philip Shuaibu was. The governor was just behind. While Shuaibu was the one doing the groundwork, and he paid off eventually to a large extent. So basically, let's leave the shores of Nigeria and let's go to England, where John Fashanu had claimed that racists denied his family of the chance to watch him play. John Fashanu is a former England player. He never played for Nigeria anyway, but then he said all throughout his playing career, his family members never came to the stadium to watch him because of racism. Because he's black, actually, and then people attack. In his own period, racism was so high, and he felt that if his family members come to the stadium, they were going to be abused racially. This racism matter, and just of recent, it's because one of our players, Semi Ajayi, was abused during the week for his club side. That's why he spoke up again that at this time and age, we are still battling racism. The way I have an issue right now with the UEFA and FIFA and co. The way they were so particular about the Super League that they killed that Super League at all costs.
Yeah.
Why can't they put that same energy that they put into Super League?
That was where I was going.
And put and kill. We see before every game starts, they'll talk about saying no to racism. But then the campaign that you used against the Super League, why can't you adopt that same tactic and kill racism? Ban this player, ban the fan for life. Whoever is involved in racism for life. Not 10-match ban, not 20-match ban or fine. For life. Ban for life. Pass a message. Let's talk about this briefly because of our time.
You see, when we are talking about racism, is a age-long issue that has been affecting the football, not only in football, even in athletic and every other thing. But I used to say something. It's like the issue of racism is like Nigeria that said is fighting corruption, but they are fighting corruption with their mouths on the pages of newspaper without any action. So this is exactly what UEFA is doing. They are just fighting racism. Any game you want to play, you say no to racism, we against racism, but you have not taken any action.
Yes, against.
You have not taken any action against those people that and then it means you are telling them anybody can do it. You can just wake up one day and look at it because your color is your skin is black or your color is that dark. You start saying all sorts of things against it. But to me, we want the UEFA to take action, not saying it with their mouth. It should not be a lion on the paper. They should that cannot bite, that cannot do anything. They should just let them go and back and take action. If you cut people that are involved in something, just ban them for life. It will serve as deterrent to other. But you will just catch them. They say within 1, 2, 3, you will not hear anything again. So that is why the corruption is growing stronger in Nigeria. And then if that thing is not happening in Europe, the racism will be going stronger because there is not action in Nigeria today. If a thief is caught here and then they burnt it completely and everybody agree, tomorrow anybody that have been thinking of go and steal someone's money, we have to rescind that decision and say, the way they did for Mr. Hay, I don't want them to do it to me. That will settle it.
Okay, now still talking about the English football. A Chelsea legend, as well as a former coach of Chelsea, talking about Frank Lampard, was recently inducted into the Premier League Hall of Fame. Yeah. And while he was talking about his, giving a speech during his induction, he said something very interesting that he laid the foundation for the current coach of Chelsea, talking about Thomas Tuchel, to be successful. That his players that he had on board are the one responsible for this success that Thomas Tuchel has enjoyed so far as the Chelsea boss. Let's briefly talk about it.
Honestly, I agree with him. Mm-hmm. Talking about Chelsea and Lampard is one of the legends of the team. He has won many.
Let me just briefly read the quote that Lampard said, and I read, "I come away with an overall feeling of pride in what I did in the job. I wanted to stay longer. I wanted real tangible success, which at Chelsea is winning cups and winning leagues, but it did not happen." That's while I was talking to the Telegraph. Hopefully, from where I took over the job, I have laid down strong foundations for the future. And in context of where I wanted my managerial career to go, it was an amazing experience. Of course, he was not happy that he lost his job as well. Because of course, anybody that loses his job will never be happy about it. But then, for cutting it short, let's talk about the fact that he said he laid the foundation for Thomas Tuchel to succeed.
Briefly, I just want to talk about two important issues about Frank Lampard. The first one is about lay the foundation for the coach Tuchel. The truth of the matter is that truly he laid the foundation. Mm-hmm. Ask me why. Because this new coach now have not went to market to buy a player. He's still using the same set of players he met. And then they are giving him the result. Even the reason why they are not playing the way they're supposed to play now is because of the task ahead of them, which is Champions League final. He was trying to just rest some player. That is why he's not getting the 3 games he played. play of recent now. The one he lost and then the one that...
Where our cinema
So it's because he's trying to put his head on the Champions League final. So to me, it's because player did not want to play for Lampard. That is why. And then I just want to give a piece of advice for a coach like Lampard. If you want to start, you can't start with a big club and make it. Look at the like of Gerrard. In the next 2-3 years now, you must see Gerrard coaching Liverpool. Yeah. He has experience somewhere. You have no experience. You are a coach player. You just came to board and you want to coach the club like Chelsea. It's not done. The people that you play with, look at the issue about it. The people that we play, they are still playing in Chelsea. You will not be commanding them. Do this, do that. They will not get it. They were the one that will be telling the young players, say, guys, we're not going to win this game for this coach. So it's an advice for him to go and look for a lesser club, and then you come big.
Okay, so he has done his bit, and hopefully we get a new job. Then Osun State, he said they plan to hold their own sports festival in August. That's over 10,000 athletes are expected to grace the first edition of Osun Sports Festival. They want to discover new talent. Because of time, let's quickly go into the fixtures for the weekend. This season, this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, sadly, most of the leagues are going to end. European football is going to finish this weekend. Some clubs, some leagues are already champions. Talking about Italy, Italy has already won the league.
EPL,
Germany has won the league already.
EPL,
Manchester has won the league.
Scotland,
they won the league. So now the major leagues that are still yet to be won
is La
Liga right now, because now the battle is between the two Madrid clubs. So now let's just talk a bit about Real Madrid and Valencia. And Atletico Madrid. Atletico Madrid are 83 points. Madrid is on 81 points. If Madrid wins against Villarreal, of course, and Atletico Madrid loses against or draws against Valladolid, Madrid is going to be because of head-to-head rule. So basically, let's just quickly talk about La Liga, because that is the main, the only league that is yet to emerge champions until this weekend.
It's a very interesting game. For the first time in the history of La Liga, the little I know, that it will be the last game of the year.
No, this was the first time. I remember in 2012.
That's why I said the little I know.
Okay.
I've already put it there, the little I know. So, but for me, when you look at the game, I think it will go the way of Atletico Madrid. They are two brothers, because they are playing the already relegated team.
Now, Valladolid still have an opportunity to escape the league.
I don't think so.
They have a faint hope of escaping relegation, if only the club above them draws that game and they win. So they still have a very slim hope, but it's very, very slim. Yeah. And then what Atletico Madrid will be looking for is just a draw. If you get a draw, you are ahead, because you have goal difference. It means if Madrid eventually win the game, it will be 84-84. But you have a lot of goal difference. If they win, if Atletico Madrid wins, they draw, and Madrid wins, Real Madrid will win, because they defeated Atletico Madrid home and away.
If we are to look at the criteria of England, it's about goal difference.
But in La Liga, it is based on
that is why it means it's going to be a very a good game between two of them. But the game between the Real Madrid and Villarreal is going to be one of the cracker, because it's not always rosy for Real Madrid anytime they are playing the yellow. But for the fact that they want to play Manchester United on the UEFA Cup, they might even try as much as possible to rest most of their players or reduce their strength in order to have the strength to fight Manchester United. Okay, so before we go to conclusion, let me just read out the fixtures for the Nigerian Football League, which is our own league, and I love the Nigerian Football League. And on Sunday, of course, our league has resumed. On Sunday, we're going to see Adama United take on Warri Wolves. Rivers United will welcome Abia Warriors. Eyimba will take on Kwara United. Ifeanyi will welcome Sunshine Stars. Dakada FC will travel to Jigawa. Katsina United, will welcome Kano Pillars at home. MFM will seek to pray their way to victory over Lobby Stars. National United, of course, will welcome Atlanta FC, who has not been doing so well. Then Plateau United will
also welcome the visit of the wiki tourist. But briefly, the league has resumed again, and we have been seeing some interesting results so far, so good. And just in few sentences, in few words, what can you talk about the league?
As far as I'm concerned, the league is going on, but the little issues that we have been discussed have not been rectified, because we have many issues over the weekend of the games that are played. But we hope that now that we just start the second half of the game, maybe before 2-3 matches, maybe it's because of too much resting from the April 2nd to May 9th. So we know what must have happened. So in the next 2-3 games, let's see what happens. But to me, I'm yet to be impressed about the performance of the Nigeria Professional Football League.
That's why we've not been doing so well in the CAF competitions. Anyway, that's another story for another day.
Yeah.
So, Mr. Joel, I'd like to thank you again for coming, for honoring your invitation. We appreciate your presence, and we hope to call on you again anytime, any day, anytime.
It is my pleasure to be here all the time. Thank you so much.
All right, viewers. So this is where we draw the curtains for today's program, and we hope you enjoyed every bit. So to come again, same time, station next week, we say enjoy the rest of your day and have a splendid weekend ahead. I remain Olusola Olujide. Bye bye.